I got rid of my gallstones 30 years ago. And I'm talking about non-surgical, holistic liver flushing. Okay? Would you like to hear how it's been since then? I mean, that is a good question. A lot of people hesitate to go into liver flushing because, they keep hearing that it's just going to come back, the stones. What's the point? There are dangers. You won't feel good anyway. Well, would you like to hear how it's been for me? Okay? I mean, 30 years ago, I was totally yellow. My colleagues were saying I was too seriously taking my Chinese medicine studies. I was turning Chinese myself. I had these painful attacks, colic, right side of my abdomen, top abdomen, really not nice. And yet, I did the flush. In my case, I did it twice. And it's not like I was, the Pope since. I had a few years of ketogenic diet, a wholesome version, but still 120 grams of fat a day, lovely salmon pieces. And yet I've had zero pain for the past 30 years. I've mostly lived on a wholesome diet. So it's not like I totally went on fries and, cheeseburgers. So yeah, it did require at least some semblance of, taking my health seriously. But still, I ate at restaurants, had a good time, and 30 years later, well, I have zero issues with my gallbladder. So, A, it means that the flush was effective, because otherwise I'd still be yellow and I'd still be having attacks once in a while, especially after eating 100 grams of salmon in one day. I mean, seriously, I did it. 200 grams, 300 grams. When I was ketogenic, that was no big deal. And my gallbladder said nothing because there was nothing to say. I mean, just last year, I had a special ultrasonic testing done. Zero sign of gallstones. So it's not really true what they say is just going to come back. If you take it seriously enough to be responsible with the way you live, reasonably responsible, not crazy, hipster, nobody can live like that. If you take it reasonably serious, you can have 30 years of peace of mind and counting. Okay? So, yes, it is possible to flush the stones out naturally. It is possible to retain your gallbladder, not lose it to surgery. It is possible to flush out all that gunk that's in the liver, which is actually not less important than flushing out the gallbladder. The liver is a much more important organ for the total well-being, that especially in the 21st century. So yeah, it is possible. And it is possible to retain that peace of mind for years later without surgery chasing you around. People, I keep seeing it, people posting, if you don't go to surgery, you'll regret it. Or doctors saying to patients, if you don't do it now, you'll do it later and suffer more for it. Hey, it doesn't have to be true. I can speak for myself right now, but I can tell you, with thousands of patients that we've already helped clearing out their gallstones with the liver flush and all the, preventative measures needed, etc., most of them are doing quite well 10, 15, and 20 years later as well. So, yeah, I think that makes the point, right? No? Subscribe, hit the bell. Until the next time.